The 49ers, after their first preseason game, already another receiver of theirs is injured, and it's one of their rookies. But if the season were to start today, their receiver room would not be that great.
It's football time.
Alrighty, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the All Around Sports Podcast, or sports, everything on this channel. I'm your host, Antonio. As you can see, I'm rocking a new Seahawks jersey I custom made with the 50-year logo on my little shoulder here, and an All Around Sports name on the back. So I just thought I'd show that off really quick before we get started. But today we're talking about the 49ers. The 49ers rookie wide receiver out of Ole Miss, Jordan Watkins, has suffered a high ankle sprain, with already Brandon Ayuk possibly going to be out until at least week 6. Jennings is still on questionable list, as he is both waiting for a new contract and also waiting to get signed, and also waiting to come back from his injury. Also, Equanimous St. Brown, the person that they had signed a few weeks ago, had suffered a foot injury that will come out the rest of the season. If the NFL were to start today, the receiver room would be of Ricky Pearsall, Russell Gage, Junior Bergen, Tariq Owens, Robbie Chosen, and Isaiah Hodgins. Of course, Marcus Robinson's probably going to be dealing with a likely 3 to 4 game suspension. We don't know the details yet. But the question is, where do the 49ers rank in the NFC? Because right now, as the current odds state, that they are the 5th overall favorite to make the NFC Championship game, only behind the Los Angeles Rams, the Detroit Lions, and also the Commanders and the Eagles. But before we get started, I wanted to mention something new. I've been spending a few weeks in the works of something new. And I wanted to introduce it this season because it is for all of you 49er fans. I'm proud to introduce this, the 49ers choke jar. Now, the label is a little larger than I had anticipated. I was hoping it would be like this small, but I wasn't able to see it because I had it custom made. So here's how the choke jar works. I got 3 different golden relics I am going to use for different games. These golden nuggets will represent a 1-point lead, 1 possession lead choke, like a 3-point lead or a 7-point lead. And then this golden coin here will represent a 10-point lead, which Kyle Shanahan is good at because he's already had 18 in his career as a 49ers head coach. And then there are these golden bricks. I've decided to use these for when they lose in the playoffs or in the Super Bowl because it only fits 3 at a time. But I hope you guys enjoy. If you do me a big favor and smash like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. For now, let's talk about the Niners. So the 49ers. Before I get into this, I'm wanting to mention something a former 49er player had to recently say. And it was Charvarius Ward. He recently spoke out about his team not offering him an extension in 2023. He said, quote, "I was hurt when I realized when I wasn't getting a contract extension or an offer, so I wasn't motivated. I was kind of pissed off." I don't want to use that language, but I have to because it's what he said. "I knew that when the season started, it was a wrap for me in the Bay. They got Diomno Lenore. They drafted him, and he's younger than me. He's probably like him. They probably like him a little bit better. He's a little more physical and aggressive than me. I can lock up anybody down. Kyle and John wanted headbusters. I'm not mad. He got what he deserved. All pros don't grow on trees, though." So, but I wanted to mention that because I just found that very intriguing in something I found out recently. But to the 49ers, I personally believe that they are right now, if I had to rank them in the NFC, as of right now, I would say they're like in the 8 to 9 category. Now, if they have so many injuries of the receiver core, I'd probably have them 7 or 8. Because of why I say that is I'm already looking at a few teams from the NFC. I'm looking at 2 from the NFC West East, which are the Eagles and Commanders. All 4 from the NFC North because it's one of the better divisions in the NFL this year. two from the NFC South, maybe three, depends on what Carolina does. Then you got the division of your own, your NFC West opponents, which you were 1-5 against in the entire division last year. The only time you won was in Seattle last year, which you almost lost a 21-point lead. Which I looked at something more recently, and it ranked the best secondaries in the NFL. The Seahawks ranked in the 9th overall category, which is respectful. I think they're a little lower, though, because their secondary is really stacked. But the 49ers, their secondary ranks all the way down 23rd in the league, behind only Tampa Bay and the Titans. And I'm not saying that the Seahawks are better, but also I looked at this recent stat. Someone predicted the defensive rankings for each of the NFL teams before the season starts of each of their defenses. The 49ers ranked in the have the this according to this guy has them ranked 15th.
Hey, genius! This is Jawbreaker! You're never gonna...
In the NFL. And surprisingly, has Seattle ranked at number 2, which I'm even surprised by that. I wouldn't have said that high as of yet. The 49ers defense last year was not the best. They ranked 29th in points per game, 18th in rushing defense, and 5th overall in passing defense, which eventually crumbled later on. But of course, the 49ers, we all know their defense had some struggles in week 1 of the preseason. Of course, I touched on that a little bit. But I'm not saying the 49ers are a bad team. I'm not saying that they're scrubs. What I'm saying is right now, based off what the team has shown us and how many injuries they already have, which appears to be their specialty, I just don't see them ahead of some teams. I think they're like either 8th to 9th right now, just because of the injuries. If they didn't have their injuries, I would have them in the 7 to 8 range. Why I say that is, I'm looking at the division in its complexity. The Rams, of course, own the 49ers now after putting the broomstick on them last year. The Seahawks defense is a lot better. The offense will have to wait and see what happens.
Just one sucker! I'll be back! Oh, barnacle.
The Cardinals, they've been kind of a grown-up team, but they're either a team that shows they're a playoff contender or a team that just crumbles and folds like an egg, like last year.
Okay, mister, you go out. What are you doing?
But when I look at other divisions, I'm looking at some of the teams that are kind of on the radar. I'm looking at the Buccaneers, one of the better teams in the NFL. I think they have a legitimate chance to make a deep playoff run because of Baker Mayfield. And also, I'm looking at the Falcons. Their defense is going to be a little bit better. I do believe it'll be a close matchup when the 49ers and Falcons meet up. But don't sleep on the Panthers. The Panthers are getting better. They were the same team that went neck to neck with the 2 Super Bowl teams last year. They had made a 3-point game against the Chiefs. And then, of course, a 1-position game to the eventual Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. And then all of the NFC North, pretty much, I'm looking at the Lions. They're a lot better than the 49ers. The Packers, they're better than the 49ers. The Bears even, and the Vikings. And then I'm looking at the NFC East. Of course, the Eagles and the Commanders are the 2 top teams. Maybe the Cowboys, but of course we know that they're going to crumble eventually. But when I look at the 49ers, you've got 5 receivers already on injuries. Ayuk out, which he's not going to be back at least until week 6. By then, you have played 3 of your division rivals, the Seahawks in week 1, Cardinals in week 3, and the Rams in week 5. Then you also got Juwan Jennings holding out for because of his injury and also wanting a new contract. He could possibly hold out in week 1's game against Seattle if he's not on a contract in the meantime. And I've said this. This man, Jawan Jennings, gives me vibes of a Jermaine Kearse with Seattle. He gives me those vibes. And I think, me personally, I would have preferred to pay Jawan Jennings instead of Brandon Ayuk. That would just be me personally, because Jennings is a solid guy. He's a solid guy. And then you also got Demarcus Robinson possibly dealing with a suspension early in the season. Jacob Cowling, who was a decent rookie last year, of course, already injured. He's been out since July 27th. Jordan Watkins that just got hurt, according in the preseason game, one of the rookies. And then you also got Kwame St. Brown on IR, which he'll be out for the remainder of the season with a foot injury. But I get the 49ers are a solid team. I get they got all pro players. They're not as deep as they used to be. Because when we looked at them in the Super Bowl, they were like the Avengers. They had Chase Young in there. They had Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner, and so many other guys I can't even keep count of. They were like the Avengers. And then what happened? They ran into Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes does what he does best: beat you in the Super Bowl.
Oh my! Ah! Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, now you die.
That's what he does best. But when I look at the 49ers and their total team, I just don't trust in their roster. Now, if Dre Greenlaw, Tulio Funga, and some of those other defensive players were still there, I would trust them more. But the main thing I'm looking at is depth. And I'm looking at the way that Marquise Single and also Nick Martin played in week 1 of the preseason. They were not so eye-popping. They were not really solid. Now, am I saying they're good players? No. Am I saying they're not that they're bad players? No. Am I saying that they're going to be busts? Absolutely not. But from what I saw from them week 1, they are not solid guys. They're not better than those guys that were already there originally. And get this, you've already had so many injuries on your defensive side of the ball. Renardo Green is injured. Jair Brown's injured. Malik Mustafa's injured. Lenore's injured. Upton Stout is injured. Michael Williams is injured. Kevin Givens is injured. Jordan Elliott's injured. And some other names I can't even pronounce. This is what I'm talking about. The 49ers always are very injured to start the season. And if we look at it, the season's only about less than a quarter of a month, 3/4 of a month away. And they have not much time to get ready for week 1 because they're playing you know who. If they are ready and fully healthy coming to week 1, and the receivers that are there, Ricky Pearsall, Russell Gage, Junior Bergen, Tariq Owens, Robbie Chosen, and Isaiah Hodgins are their wide receivers going into that game, the 49ers are not winning that game. Because the 49ers, the defense of Seattle has gotten a whole lot better. Did you know that the Seahawks only ranked outside of one of their defensive categories? Top 15 in one of their defensive categories? That happened to be their rush defense. Their defense only got better. And do you really think that Sam Darnold's going to let his year last year fade away? He's going to try to come back, although I still have questions about him. But I'm saying the Seahawks defense is much stronger than it was. And did you know that the Seahawks defense had the 3rd highest pressure ranking than any NFL team to finish off the season? And they were a top 5 defense in the end of last year. They were like a top 5 defense in the last few weeks when Ernest Jones came over. So if that's the case going into week 1, I don't think they're going to win the game. I do still believe it'll be close, but I just don't think if there's no true number 1 receiver in there that they are going to win against the Seattle Seahawks. George Kittle is still solid. Christian McCaffrey is still solid, unless he gets injured going on a dang plane or a practice field. That's a big if. But still, you don't have a true number 1 receiver right now. The only receiver that you have that's going to be a starter right now is Ricky Pearsall, We don't know what Jawan Jennings is going to do. We don't know if he's going to hold out if he doesn't get a contract in week 1. Brandon Ayuk he's going to be out until at least week 6. But my point is, the 49ers are so injury riddled. And if they don't have everybody going into week 1, I'm sorry, but they're not winning against the Seattle Seahawks in week 1. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you guys think the 49ers will, where do you guys think the 49ers rank in the NFC? Let me know in the comments what you guys think down below. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, do me a big favor and smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Till next time, I'll see you all in the next one. Ciao for now.